Hi, welcome to this part of my review featuring the Dragonbane core set. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review, featuring this tabletop RPG of Mirth and Mayhem, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about magic. Some call magic a gift from the dragons, others a curse from the demons, and still others call it the blessing of the gods or spirits. The reality is that magic is a basic force of nature that exists throughout the physical world as well as beyond it. Gods and demons, dragons and spirits, they are all equally dependent on magic. There are various schools of magic. In this core set, we have 4 of them. Each school of magic is a separate secondary skill. As a newly created mage, you may select one school as a trained skill based on intelligence. You don't get a base chance in magic schools that you are not trained in, even as a mage. You can learn additional schools of magic during the game. The schools are animism. This is about interacting with the spirits and the gods. You also have elementalism, which concerns the wielding of wind, water, earth, and fire. There is also mentalism, which is about the harmony that exists between mind and body. When it comes to general magic, this is a collection of general spells that every spellcaster can use. Concerning the spells themselves, they are divided into ranks, which indicate how complex and powerful they are. As a mage, you start the game with only rank 1 spells, but you can learn higher rank spells during the game. Spells are complicated, and the maximum number of spells you can hold prepared in your memory at the same time is equal to your base chance for intelligence. When you have reached your limit and want to prepare another spell, you need to replace the spell. Most mages have a grimoire, and newly created mages automatically get one. In the grimoire, you record all the spells you know. Recording one spell takes a shift of time. You can record unread spells. Once you have learned more spells than can be held prepared, your grimoire becomes crucial. In an emergency, you can cast spells directly from the grimoire, but it takes twice as long as normal. When it comes to magic tricks, they are minor, relatively harmless spells. They are often the first thing a mage learns, as these simple spells train their minds to handle magical power. When it comes to the casting of spells, you must spend willpower points and roll against your skill level in the relevant school. Any school can be used to cast general spells. If the roll succeeds, the spell has the intended effect, as per its description. Otherwise, it has no effect. You can push the roll if this optional rule is used. Magic tricks succeed automatically and always cost 1 willpower point. Some spells can drain willpower points from another person. The power level of a spell indicates how much power you charge it with. The power level ranges from 1 to 3. Casting a spell costs 2 willpower points per power level. In other words, normal spells always cost at least 2 willpower points, and magic tricks always cost 1 willpower point. Some spells do not use power level. These always cost 2 willpower points. If you have 0 willpower points left, you can draw power from your body if need be. But this is harmful, potentially even lethal. Roll a die of your choice, a d4, a d6, a d8, etc., before casting the spell. The result indicates how many willpower points you gain and must use straight away, but you also take the same amount of damage. Willpower points not used immediately are lost. The damage is applied after the spell is cast. Power from the body, that is this way of casting spells through your life force, cannot be used for healing spells. It's important to note that metal has an anti-magical effect, which means that you cannot use magic if you are wearing metal armor or have a metal weapon at hand. Luckily, items in your inventory do not count for this. To cast a spell, you must fulfill 1 or more requirements, which are specified in the description of each spell, such as word, gesture, focus, and ingredient. It all depends on the specific spell. You also have details on the casting time, the range, area of effect, the duration, And if the roll for casting a spell fails, the spell has no effect as described previously, but you must still spend your willpower points. You are free to describe how the failure manifests itself in the adventure, as long as it has no mechanical effect. When it comes to rolling a dragon when you cast a spell, this means that your target must roll a dragon to resist, parry, or dodge the spell accordingly, and you may choose one of the following effects. The damage or range of the spell is doubled. The spell does not cost any willpower points. You can immediately cast another spell, but get a Vane on the roll. Now if you roll a demon, you cannot push the roll. There is also a risk of something going terribly wrong. This concerns the optional rule, Magical Mishap. You roll on a table, and one of several magical effects could happen. Perhaps another random spell of yours is activated instead of the one you cast, with the same target and power level. Or maybe the spell backfires. An offensive spell affects you instead of the intended target. A protecting or healing spell inflicts damage instead. You can learn new spells from a teacher or grimoire. You must have a skill level in the relevant school of magic or any school of magic for general spells. When it comes to the spell list, you have all sorts of spells. Concerning general magic, you have things such as Dispel. You cancel an ongoing spell of lower or equal power level. There is also Magic Seal. You bind a spell to an inanimate object of your choice. When it comes to animism, you have things such as Animal Whisperer. This spell lets you talk to a bird or mammal. You also have things such as Thunderbolt. You call down a mighty thunderstroke on a target. Concerning elementalism, you have things such as Shatter. By breaking the invisible bond that holds physical matter together, you can shatter physical objects. And there are things such as Tidal Wave. You summon a great wave from a water source within range. In the case of mentalism, you have spells such as Levitate. You levitate yourself or another person or object of up to human size and let it float up to 6 meters in any direction. There is also Teleport. With this spell, you can teleport yourself up to 100 meters. And these are just a few of the many spells for each school. Thank you for watching this part of the review. In the next part, we are going to talk about gear and the Vistiri. When it comes to these spells, they are very easy to cast, but they have a certain layer of complexity to them. What if you run out of willpower points, and you want to obtain more willpower points at the expense of your own body? What if you want to raise the power level of a spell? This would cost more willpower points, but depending on the situation, it could be the only way out. Thank you for watching this part of the review, and thank you for your likes and your comments. If you have any questions or comments, please let me know. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, the information on how to do that will be in the description below. This has been Abraham El Jaguar, a professional game master. If you want me to run a game for you, please check out the pinned comment below. And remember, roleplay solves everything. Once again, thank you, and see you later.